Just don't let me see you shoot no dogs.
Roundtable Radio.
Yo.
What's going on, man?
Man, life is good. How you feel?
I'm feeling all right. Feeling all right, man. Appreciate you for coming on with me, man.
Man,
you know
appreciate
I'm pretty
you.
excited about this one right here.
Man, look, I'm just trying to make sure I get my little tripod right. Make sure I got it synced in. Give me 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, it's all good.
All right, there we go. I think that'll work.
Oh yeah, that's perfect right there.
Say word.
All
yeah,
right,
I'm here, man.
First of all, I want to say thank you for coming on with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to take too much time from your Saturday, but you know, like I said, I'm pretty excited about this one. Just for the simple fact that you run with some of the big bosses in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty much a fan of the whole family. So, you know, to get one of y'all, man, this is the honor right here.
Yo, man, I'm honored to be here. Thank you for you know, sending out the link for discussing it, man. It's great, man. I want to be able to, you know, I want to talk to people who like what we're doing versus trying to convince people to like what we're doing. You know what I mean? And so people like yourselves who have like dug in the ground and created that organic family, created that organic following, that's what matters to me over and over and over again. So now you actually flavored up my Saturday. I didn't know what I was going to be doing today. Remember, I'm a teacher during the week. So like my weekends exist and don't exist. In some ways, it's the booth right behind me.
Yeah.
Or it's trying to get some sleep. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I don't have a crazy amount of weekend time anyway. So this is perfect for it.
Yeah, man. Well, like I said, man, this is, you know what I'm saying, I want to make history. So let's go ahead and make some history with this one now. I like to start my interviews off, man, getting to know the artist one-on-one, letting everybody get to know what their views are when it comes to the rap game, when it comes to them as artists. So I want to start this question off with you, man. What do you think influences or motivates you to continue to be at your best when it comes to this music game?
Yo, and mind you, I'm putting in my little fake earrings because I ain't paying for diamonds because divest, nigga. We not digging diamonds out of Africa, and I'm putting real diamonds in my ear. But I don't know if they're gonna show or not. But whatever. I'm gonna flash real quick. Yo, I've thought about this so many times. Why am I doing this? And for a while, I did. I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be rich and famous. And mind you, I could still dig some fame, and I could definitely dig some dollars. I have to do this. This is a part of me. This is a part of the revolution. This is the introduction to the Panthers that my uncle gave me at 7, 8 years old. This is reading Zora Neale Hurston, Langston Hughes, and Richard Wright at an early age. This is growing up in Arkansas. This is moving to Albuquerque. This is loving Atlanta. Like all of this, it matters. And so the homie Ross Kofi, peace Ross Kofi, the farmer, he hit me with a quote years back that I believe is attributed to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But he said, when you see a dirty glass, don't shame the glass. Place a clean glass in front of it and allow the dirty glass to shame itself. So what I like to do with my music is be that clean glass. I have no issues with the dirty glass. I'll put the clean glass forward. The dirty glass can shame itself.
Okay. So like, when did you decide that, like, for yourself, that music was gonna be that one thing that was like, this is it? You know what I'm saying? When did you decide, like, you know, this is what I actually wanted to do, and this was gonna work out for me?
So it's weird. Like, I don't know if I ever decided that it's going to be the one thing. But I started rapping at 6. And I'm about to age myself. You know, if I had a PR, they'd be like, don't tell them this story. They don't need to know your age. But yo, there was a song called Daha Daha by the Rapping Duke. Come to find out later on that it was a joke rap. It was some white radio host who made a joke rap way early in life. But like me and my granddad watched John Wayne. So when he says, when you were in diapers and wetting the sheets, I was at the Ponderosa rocking to the beat. Da da
I'm gonna
da
look that up later on. Okay.
Yo, like it touched everything. Like it united everything in such a way. I was like, I like that. I can't really sing, but I like the way that this moved. And, you know, again, that connection to John Wayne and something that I knew already, it just stuck with me. And so from then, I learned that song, started adding words to that song. And I looked up one day and I was freestyling without knowing what freestyling was. You know, I was just having a great time with it, you know, but to be a little kid in Arkansas and have kids come knock on your grandma's house for you to go to the park, to the playground, because somebody said they could beat you rapping. And to go grab your, you know, put on your shirt, put on your shoes, and run there and just serve them up on the merry-go-round, on the monkey bars, by the swings. Again, in Arkansas, not the Bronx, not New York City, not Queens, not Staten Island. And that's respect to all of those areas, but directly from Arkansas. And that stayed with me. I don't think I realized its importance until probably about a couple of years ago, when I stopped looking at it as an ends to a means, when I stopped looking at what I could get out of it as to whether or not, you know, the whole world was going to know me, whether or not the bank account was going to be filled with millions. The way that I express myself, I'm quoting lyrics in the middle of a conversation, no matter who I'm talking to. I'm always thinking of rhymes. I'm listening to MCs. I'm always in that zone. And I think for a long time, I was battling with that. Like, where can I be? How can I fit in? What can I do? And I relented to the art, to the craft, to the purpose of it. And after I did that, things became seamless. And, you know, that's where alchemy comes from. But like, overall, this isn't my one thing. It's my hub. As an educator, hip hop is part of my education. As a thinker, hip hop is part of my thinking. As, you know, give me another set of etc. titles. They won't exist without hip hop being a part of it, without being an MC being a part of it. So it holds a way greater weight than just being what I do, or just being a craft, or just being what can bring me money. It literally is what I am. I am Anon. I'm the Griot. Rakim gave me, you know, Microphone Fiend in '88. I ain't gonna take off my shirt, but right here is a cassette tattooed on my chest, and it says Microphone Fiend. So at '88, when the God Rakim Allah articulated that, and I was 10 at that point, giving my age away again, it's all good, man. It all made sense.
But I want to ask you, man. You know, being a teacher, a professor, you know what I'm saying. Also being an artist, how and I want to ask this because I talked about this on my podcast show a couple months back. You know what I'm saying. How big is hip hop and teaching? You know what I'm saying? Are you able to mix those two together? And when you do, are you able to come up with successful teachings with it?
So number one, don't nobody tell me what to do. You know, and I approach education in that sense because my pedagogy in education is like my pedagogy in hip hop. I've studied this. I've practiced this. I've been in the moment. I've read the books, I've lived the life, I've been able to look at all of it and decide for myself. So I started the Griot Circle 11 years ago when I first started teaching. I was at Lithonia High School in DeKalb County, and they had a poetry club. And in my mind, I felt like the people that I wanted to meet and interact with might not have been excited about the poetry club. Based upon stereotypes and perceptions, you know, girls talking about, I love him and he don't love me. Why can't we just be free? And I didn't want it to end there. So I created the Griot Circle based upon the idea of being a griot. and I incorporated students who rapped. That's conscious rap, that's trap rap, or whatever it was called then, spoken word, poets, producers, beatboxers, break dancers, like anybody that was connected to the culture. And I was so excited, and I have a picture on my Facebook from years back of me in front of them. And it is the weirdest mix of kids you could ever see, like across the board, like cats who probably allegedly had packs in their pocket, hanging out with full-blown nerds with a half-processed slight perm because they like anime. No, I'm serious. I'm like, yo, R.I.P. to Anti-Job. He left us. He's an ancestor now. That motivated me. So I continually look at that. Chuck D's Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos. Well, Public Enemy's Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos. Looking at a unit where we're talking about what does it mean to be an American, and that articulation of dissent, and how that dissent is very similar to what created, at least ideally, America, right? We're not falling for what you say. We're changing our reality. We are going to oppose. And as it relates to a vote, we have the opportunity to oppose. So Chuck D, again, sorry, Public Enemy. I'm just saying Chuck because I hear his voice. But Public Enemy, Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos moves me. Years ago, in that same previous school, I had an assignment where I asked the kids if one song could describe them, what would it be? And, you know, they went around, and one of my students, Shannon Branch, Shannon, you there? Right? Yeah. He said he wanted Tupac's If Heaven Got a Ghetto. Mm. And I normally teach with my door wide open. So I played them Nas's One Mic video. I got the Promethean board up on 10, all the way loud, door open. My principal walks by as the song is blasting through the hallway and sits down, listens to the song. I got ready to explain what it was. And she was like, no, let a student tell. And that's when Shannon jumped up and was like, well, he's asking us what song would define our lives. And I chose If Heaven Got a Ghetto because me and my dad listened to it. And it just makes me think about what happens afterwards. Right. And she loved it. And she was like, all right, so can I do my song? And so then we pulled up Mary J. Blige's I'm the fine. And she sat there and she listened, and then she walked out. I mean, it was like the smoothest peace out that you've ever seen. So I've seen real examples of, if I bring it to the forefront, it's going to be appreciated. I've also worked with the Fulbright Foundation. I was a Fulbright Fellow for the 2018-2019 year. And the whole global learning target that I created centered around hip hop. So gave you all of that. But to answer your question, oh, it absolutely works. The question is whether number one, you can find relevant songs that reach kids and aren't explicit, and whether or not you're actually invested in it, or if you're just trying to do worksheets and do school like you've always done school. I love school. I was a nerd, but I didn't love school. I had homies who didn't love school. I saw how it happened, and I talked to them about the work, and I was a nerd again. So I gave them feedback. I helped, man, look, when I tell you in Albuquerque, I helped a whole gang of Crips literally graduate high school because they was the homeboys. And when we played basketball after school, I'm horrible at playing ball, but I'm great at explaining geography or, you know, ELA or what was going on in math. So if an educator is interested in really moving it forward, they will find a way. And that means, you know, picking Lil Baby's bigger picture and utilizing that, taking that moment where he stood up and where he articulated what the youth were feeling. It's finding the gems in the music that the kids relate to, right? It's going and listening to Pop Smoke and finding some of the joints that he has. It's looking at An Odd Future and seeing how at a young age they constructed an empire unto themselves. So it's very feasible. I think the issue is that most people do school like they've always done school, which is why school have always done us the way school has always done us.
Mm, mm. And I, you know, the reason I asked is because, you know, when a, a young teenager, you know, tells his parents or tells his teacher that he wants to start writing rhymes, he's looked at
Mm-hmm.
funny. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Or when he says that he wants to go in the studio, his parents look at him funny and say, well, what do you know what I'm saying? What else do you want to be? There's some other things out there. And so we're
Mm-hmm.
looked at, artists are looked at as, you know, the people who want to take the easy way out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they're not realizing like this song could help this next person you know what I'm saying, get through school, get through anything that he's going through. And, you know what I'm saying? And we're kind of put on the back burner. So it's kind of
Yeah.
cool to hear that from a teacher's point of view, that, hey, this music is actually helping us teachers teach, and it's actually helping the students to get through school. And hopefully this will open other people's eyes and maybe, you know what I'm saying, have them see the rap game differently as maybe an outlet to help people instead of destroy. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, so dig on Alchemy. I have 3 former students on the album.
Mm.
I have Dreamer, aka.
Hold on. I got some album questions, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I have 3 former students on the project. One, at the very last song, Just Start, the homeboy Credo Clay, his daughter is on the hook with him. Didn't realize that was his daughter. I didn't teach her, but her homeroom class and her ELA class was right next door to mine. So I interacted with her regularly. We did a virtual, a drop and go graduation ceremony for them to pick up their diplomas. And I was the MC for it. So, you know, I'm riding around, I'm doing ha, ha, ha. And as she grabs her diploma, she's like, oh yeah, Mr. Jackson, my daddy know you. I'm like, word? Who is your daddy? And then she's like, yeah, we were watching your video just the other day. And I was like, oh, that's Mr. Jackson. He was like, no, that's Anon. She was like, how you know him? How you know him? Yeah. So I have 3 of my former students on my project. And it wasn't by design as much as it was by serendipity and the universe talking. So yeah, hip hop heals.
Okay. Now, I was gonna actually skip over this question, but I want to go ahead and ask you, man. You know what I'm saying? Being somebody who has a love for the rap, for hip hop, for, you know what I'm saying, as far as it goes back, you know what I'm saying, you know your history, you know your studies when it comes to music. You know what I'm saying? What are your views on the rap game today? Now, do you think it's really just an open portal, or do you think like it's actually going somewhere?
Man,
From all sides, from lyrical sides, from its mumble rap sides, from, you know, the people who take rock and hip hop and make it, you know what I'm saying, clash it together, from all sides of the rap game. What are your views on it?
yo, so my man Joe Stew, shout out Joe Stew, shout out Soul Food Cypher, also shout out Divine Sun, shout out 8 a.m. in the morning. Joe Stew wrote a piece that I looked at and edited and worked with about the origins, or rather the connections between mumble rap and the blues, and that guttural expression, which is the blues, right? When we think about the blues, we don't think we don't think high vocabulary. We don't think genius. We don't think glasses. We think of it as kind of the real life, the guttural exploration of what's going on right now. And he argued that to some degree, mumble rap has that same thing, at least sonically, like it sounds a certain way. And if you not from the culture, if you not from Simpson Road, if you not from wherever that is in St. Louis and so on and so forth, you may not understand it. So it's coded in a sense. And he looked at it and kind of broke it down to me almost in a philosophical sense, where it doesn't necessarily mean that those who are doing it or those who are selling it understand the layers and the levels of it, but that it connects to something uniquely African, uniquely connected to ourselves, where sometimes the words matter, but also sometimes The feeling matters. So that's number one. I don't have a problem with anything that the young guys are doing right now. Young guys, young sisters, young kings, young queens, what they're doing right now. I can't have an issue with that because at 42, I'm going to reveal my age. At 42, I've lived enough and I've gone through elements of all of those phases. Whether I went deep into it or not, I've gone through elements of those phases. I started studying Iceberg Slim at 19 because I thought I had a slick tongue and maybe I wanted to pimp. And then I read Iceberg and realized it's not in my spirit. I ain't got the heart for it. And then I read it even deeper and understood how he was talking about the human condition and how you can use someone else's greed for your own benefit. That's my 42 laws of power. That's my think and grow rich, how to win friends and influence people. But I wouldn't have stumbled across Iceberg had I not been so fascinated with the idea of being able to tell a woman what to do, to realize that I can't tell a woman what to do and that that's not in my system. So I respect and appreciate the growth that it takes. However, I think the same thing that's been going on with hip hop is still going on with hip hop. It's a commodity, which makes it beautiful, but it's a commodity which makes it ugly. Those who control the machine control the output. There's no coincidence that, you know, now the Migos, who at this point really should probably get their own Lifetime Achievement Award and Grammys because they've established a style that everyone has taken and bitten off of. I'm not going to say they're the dopest lyricists, and that's no hate to them, but that style everyone is bit off of. But why is everyone bit off of it? Because it hit the radio. And once it hit the radio, what do the industry execs say? We want something that sounds like that. We want something that moves like this, right? I've listened to Meg rap. I've listened to Cardi talk. Cardi B is a hood philosopher, a hood intellectualist, if you will. That's not reflected in music. Does that mean that the audience won't pick it up? Or does it mean that the companies won't cut that check for that bag if she does, right? When I speak of Rhapsody, when I speak of Sarok, when I speak of Nigeria right now, in Ghana right now, you wouldn't know, well, some would know, not you. Some would know who I'm talking about, but it doesn't create all of that energy. And part of that is just because those who are behind creating the culture have to be behind those who are purveying the culture. So I feel like at one point in time, you know, when rappers was mad at mixtape DJs or bootleggers selling joints on the corner, it was a result of what the streets wanted. Streets would go to the bootleggers and be like, yo, you got that 50 Cent. Yo, you got that Nas. Yo, you got the new J. You got that new Outcast. New Outcast. It even came out. And the bootlegger was like, well, you know what? I need to get that new Outcast, right? The DJ was like, I need to spin that new Outcast. And when the streets funneled and informed what music was, the wide variety of what could exist came out of that. Outkast, Goody Mob, Dungeon Family, Gutter is All Everything, Atlanta Legends, but all are thinkers, all are philosophers, all care about the culture, all care about themselves. And guess what? A-Town stood down with that. Dope Boys and Box Chevys, Bump, Outkast, to this day, they didn't change their message, but we're at a point right now where the commodity of it is being controlled, unfortunately, by individuals who are not of it. And so any disclaimer, any degree of critique that I would have to have about what's going on in hip hop, I would direct that more so to those, to the gatekeepers. But I would suggest to the artists to remember this: born alone, die alone, sleep alone, shit alone, wake up alone. Like, you are all you, CMB, we all we got. Choose.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? I definitely wanted to get your take on that just because, you know what I'm saying, and not to bring your age out again, but you know,
I'm so cool with it.
You're a seasoned artist out here, and it's important because we have a lot of young indie artists that I interview, you know what I'm saying, and I always get their take on that. But to have, you know what I'm saying, someone who's been in the game for a minute to you know what I'm saying, to get their take on that, you know, I always want to find out. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Now,
respect that.
oh yeah, most definitely, man. Now this album, man, Alchemy. Now, first of all, before we even talk about this album, I got into a little a Facebook duel with Plex because
Ah,
he told me first of all that this was the best solo album from the whole family. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be honest with you now. I started listening to Black Box in high school. You know what I'm saying? Our first
mm-hmm.
solo album I ever listened to was Almost Famous. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
okay,
So you
okay.
know what I'm saying. I rolled that album out until it wouldn't even play no more. You know what I'm saying? Then I down the line, and then it Smiles and Cries, and then that's when I started listening to Diligent, and you know what I'm saying, so on. But now, like this year, I just found out, you know what I'm saying, who you were through 8 a.m. and I got some 8 a.m. questions later on. But,
Yes,
you
sir.
know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
I tell you, Plex was like, yo, this is the best album that you're gonna hear from BB from the whole family. I'm like, are you sure about that? You know what I mean? But when I listen to it, I'm really fucking with the album. I haven't got through the album. The song I really stopped at was Spoken Word, and that actually is my favorite song right now, only because it spoke. You know what I'm saying? It not spoken word. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But it sounds spoken word. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big fan of spoken
Mm-hmm.
word. So you know what I'm saying? How did this album come about, man? How did you come concept behind Alchemy? You know what I'm saying?
All right, so let me try to be succinct in that response because you can already tell I can talk. So I'm AnonTheGriot, and at the end of Blame It on Dave, I put in a clip of Dave Chappelle when he received his Mark Twain Award, and he spoke on what a griot meant. Um, I was anonymous in high school, anonymous in college, and when Divine Sons really started working, I was like, well, I can't just be anon because that's not searchable. You search Anon and anything that's anonymous will come up. And I didn't want to be Anon the MC. I didn't want to be Anon the rapper. I'm not a DJ per se. And the idea of the griot stuck to me because I am a poet. I am a writer. I'm a published author of Locked Up But Not Locked Down, A Guide to Surviving the American Prison System, available with Supreme Design Publishing. I have a book of poetry called Poems for a Barfly that I created. So I'm definitely, I won't say that when I say that I'm more than an MC, it's not to lessen what an MC is. It's to articulate everything that I am. But I am a griot because that is the umbrella under which it all falls. And so, like, even thinking about World Star, for example, it's an example of the griot in rhyme, not just the MC, but the griot. And, you know, shout out to World Star Hip Hop. The song was not a diss. I periodically look at World Star. You know, I find some comic things. I find some new videos there. But World
Right.
Star and later on in the album, comment section both go together because of the inspiration behind what people say in the comment section or what people put up on World Star, like what we deem relevant, the ways that people snitch on themselves, the horrible things that people record and then decide that it's relevant to upload, not for the sake of getting justice, not for the sake of bringing light to a situation, but for the sake of being able to say World Star, right?
Right.
When I see a mother, when I see a mother at the gas station, and this is a real video, of course, when I see a mother at a gas station and a woman roll up on her, talking slick, and in the midst of that fighting, her daughter comes out and dog walks the woman. Like, on one sense, that's great that the daughter, you know, stood up for mom. But what were we doing when we recorded that joint? What was going on? What is the
Right.
intervention that could have happened, right? And because now you've recorded that, and that assault can now be charged on quite possibly all three of them. And there is actual evidence to support that. So that was for World Star. But to back up, I love the book The Alchemist. I've read it a few different times. And, you know, I get through it and I stop and then I go back and start over again. And so The Alchemist inspires me. But that idea of alchemy, of taking pieces of what isn't deemed important or valuable and putting them together to create something that's important and valuable. And let's be clear, hip hop isn't deemed important or valuable. Radio rap is important and valuable. Trap rap is important and valuable. WAP is important and valuable. But like, I got bars, you got to think about it. I'm riding this beat. I'm connected to the history. I'm uplifting my people. Those pieces aren't
I don't know
valuable.
what is going on today, man. I don't know if this the knowledge that you're giving off that they just don't want us to hear, or I don't know what it is, man. But yo, this is the first time that this has ever happened, man. And but the only important thing about it is we're here, we're still here. But I do want to go ahead and finish this off, man. But we were talking about the creation of 8 a.m. the name 8 a.m.
Yeah.
I don't know if we lost that last part. Real quick.
Yeah, real quick. 8 a.m. represents the fact that Diligent and I met at 8 a.m. in a physical science class at Morehouse College, our freshman year, and, got cool with each other, and come to find out that, the homies in Graves Hall that I was working with was homies that he knew. And so, when we all got together, realized, he and I had already established a bond before I was even working heavily with everyone else. So what was Divine Mind Entertainment became Divine Sons. Diligent is a part of Divine Sons as he is a part of Black Box. But collectively, he and I, even within both of those organizations, kind of have a sound and an energy that represents the South in a way that we form together as 8 a.m. Because our producer, Drunk Uncle Billy, Billy Norton, what's up? No Dose, Corduroy Billy, while we were having a party over here at the crib, suggested that we do an album together. And we ended up doing, I think, what ends up being the last joint on the album for the free. We did it that night. And then, Diligent come over here, throw them in the booth, record. I record in the booth, send it off, get it mixed and mastered, and the rest is history. And don't worry, there will be another 8 a.m. in 2021. After Diligence, Corey Diligent project drops.
Oh yeah, man. I definitely can't wait. Yeah, because like I said, I fell in love with the 8 a.m. project. You know what I'm saying? Fuck I Look Like is one of my favorite songs right now. You know what I'm saying? I posted a video on Facebook, you know what I'm saying, me dancing to it. That's my favorite song right there. I play it a lot actually on the podcast. So
you got to tag me in that video. You got it. You got to tag me.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. Well, look, before this connection ends up messing up on us again, man, I definitely want to thank you for taking the time to sit down with me to talk about the album, you know what I'm saying, and talk about, the upcoming projects and 8 a.m. It was an honor, you know what I'm saying, for you to, actually want to sit down with me to talk about this.
Man, it's a blessing.
I definitely want to thank you.
Man, happy to be in this space. Thank you for reaching out. I think it's wonderful. Please continue the grind that you're doing. Please continue to give light to those who are bringing their own light. It's real easy to find somebody on the burgeoning of a come up and be like, oh, let me ride your coattails. It's something pure. It's something righteous about recognizing the work that someone is doing right now and celebrate them. So I'm celebrating you right now. Here are your roses while you can smell them. I've looked back at some of the previous podcasts, be looking forward to some of the future podcasts. Thank you for having me here. And for everyone, again, on all social media handles, it is at AnonTheGriot. That's not Griot, the Griot, the storyteller. At AnonTheGriot. And if you like your boy, like in truth, if you like your boy, look, spin it on any of the platforms that you have access to, because it's up there. It's on Tidal. It's on Deezer. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. You can look at it through Google. You can look at it through YouTube. And hopefully Pandora stop being a sucker and add it in too, but we'll wait on that. But
Pandora's,
but the point being, like, listen to it for yourself. After you listen, if you like, support the artists collectively, but individually and personally by going to AnonTheGriot.bandcamp.com. You can support that. Alchemy.
And then, I will say that. Well, if you send me the link, I'll put the link in when I you know what I'm saying, put the video on YouTube and everything. I'll put all the links in, make sure they know where to go.
Shout out to Plex and Dan for making sure that I put up an Amplify, So I got an amplify link so it can send everyone everywhere. But remember, streams are beautiful, but they don't touch our pockets. So if you hear it, go on Bandcamp, own that thing. And I think it's worth owning. I could tell you more about it, but I'd rather you hear it.
Okay. Okay. Well, look, man, like I always say up here, man, God bless, you know what I'm saying? Keep your mask on when you go in the grocery stores.
Yes, sir.
When you go in the buildings, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully we can get you back up here for a part 2, you know what I'm saying? So we can actually see the process, and whenever you do drop those visuals, man, you know what I'm saying? If you want to shoot it to us, you know what I'm saying? We'll be glad to promote it, you know what I mean? So it's always love up here, man. So
what's crazy is the call that I was getting in between our last, before we got cut off, is actually from the director. So I'm pretty sure she's about to let me know about what we're looking at. So hopefully on Friday, I'll have that to you before Friday. We can drop it on Friday. You can, you know, share with your folks, and then we can sit back and chop it up on Blame It on Dave specifically. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That sounds like a plan, man. Well, look, man, sir. You know, man, until next time, my brother, man, peace, man. God bless you, my brother. God bless, all blessings. Sir. Respect.
Just don't let me see you shoot no dogs.
Roundtable Radio.